guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I apply my foundation every day or every time I go out. Basically this is a foundation routine for acne scars or indented scars. So there are three types of scars. You have ice pick, rolling, and box scars, and mine is box scars. So if you have box scars are typically scars which are slightly deeper and bigger, and it creates a lot more shadow. So I'm going to zoom up on my skin, on my face, to show you how my scars look like. It's really bad. So as you can see here, I've got like one big scar right over here. I've got little box scars around it, and on my left side I have a few here, and actually one pretty deep here as well. So I have a lot on my cheeks here and my cheeks here. So if you're interested to know how I apply my foundation for indented box scars, then keep on watching. In closer for you so that you can see this whole thing, you can get to see the scars better. Now I have prepped my skin, I've moisturized my skin. Now because the foundation that I'm using is powder, I will have to apply moisturizer a little bit more than usual. So the first step is definitely primer. Primer is super important, I feel, if you have big pores and you have scars like mine. It doesn't get rid of the scars, but it softens the look of the scar. So I typically use two primers, and the first primer that I use is the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer. This primer, I actually got it as a package, as a PR package at Singapore Modest Fashion Weekend. So I tried this and I actually love it a lot. So I'm going to apply the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer all over my skin, focusing more on the spots that I need more filling, especially around my chin and around this side of my cheek, because I have a little bit more of an open pore around here. Alright, so next I am moving on to my Benefit Porefessional. The Porefessional that I have is disgusting because I've had it for like about 5 years now. So this primer is really good for spot priming, if that makes sense. So I use this mostly on my box scars. So what I do is I will just pat it in, and on the smaller scars it will fill it up, but on my bigger scars I will just use it to soften it up further. So before I apply the foundation itself, I will correct and conceal my under eye, and depending on the severity of my under eye circles that day, I will decide if I'm going to use an orange corrector like today or a peachy salmon-y undertone. So for today, I feel that my dark circle is on the darker side, so I'm going to use this NYX Orange Concealer pot. Now that I look very funny with orange eyes, I will move on to the concealer itself. So concealer, again, it depends on how severe my under eye circles are that day. If it's not that bad, after using the peach corrector, I will move on to using my pharmacy concealer. But again, today, since I'm using orange, I need something heavier to cover it up. I'm using my NARS Creamy Concealer in shade Ginger. I'm actually really done with this, so I really need to get a new one. Alright, now that I'm done with concealing my under eye, I will go over it with Amazing Cosmetics concealer. Now this concealer is in shade I don't remember, but this is one of like the fairest shade. So I use this under my eye to brighten it up a bit. I usually don't use a lot of this because this is crazy pigmented, and it really brightens up the under eye, and I will look so much more awake. You see how that went from this to like this? So now I'm done brightening up with that amazing concealer, Amazing Cosmetics concealer, which is really amazing. And next I'm going to be baking, and I'm a cheapo, so I bake with baby powder. If I have acne marks or any pigmentation going around, I would color correct it and I would use a concealer. But for today, I think I probably will just conceal the redness around my nose, and I've got like this pimple scar here, so I'll just get rid of that. And then I like to use my Sigma F80 or any foundation brush that is, you know, dense enough to pick up any powder later. Now is the time that I move on to foundation. Now, I first started out using liquid foundation, but I feel like liquid foundation will actually sink into the crevices, into the spots itself, into the scars itself. So it sits on it, it doesn't fill it up, it doesn't look good. I feel like it feels like I'm emphasizing the scars more. So I tried on using powder foundation, sorry. So the one that I use on an everyday basis is MAC Studio Fix. I am in shade NC30. I'll take my brush, the powder is like this, and then I'll just swipe it down, and there's foundation on my brush already, and then I'll just pack it into my face, into my skin. So at areas like my scars, I would pack it even more, as in I would push it into the scars. Alright, so now I will bake on areas which I want to be highlighted. Usually at this point, I will fill in my brows, I will draw in my brows, but I started with this earlier, so I don't have to bore you with it. And if you want to see my eyebrow routine, I will link it. I will link my previous video down in the description box. So now that it's been baking for a bit, I will dust off whatever's on the face. I would add a little bit around my nose, because for some reason when I use this foundation, the sides of my nose gets really oily. Now the next product is something that I also got in my package from SMFW. It's Makeup Forever's Microfinishing Loose Powder. Finishing powders are not meant to be used for baking because they don't absorb oil, and it is what it is. It's supposed to go after your whole makeup. It's supposed to finish up your makeup. So what this one does, it really blurs out the scars even more. And I'll dust a little bit on the forehead. So now this is mostly what I'm done with. I will stop with my base around here. I would add on my contour, my nose contour, my cheek contour, and things like that. But I'm not gonna do all that today. My scars are still there. It's definitely still there, but it's a lot softer now. It's not as deep as it was before putting on foundation. Alright, so now the whole face looks a little bit cakey, but a tip or a trick is to use setting spray. I usually would use the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray to set the makeup as well as to melt the foundation into your skin, and it will look so natural. But I have not used a setting spray after using powder foundation because I realized that since my skin is very oily, at the end of the day, after using that setting spray, my face looks oilier in that sense. So I would leave out the setting spray. I would just, this is really just how I will be done with the makeup, because like I mentioned just now, once I leave the house, my skin and the foundation melts together and it gives a natural finish. So I hope this helps you in some ways. I hope that you try this if you have indented scars like me, because these scars are never going away. I've tried so many treatments, I've spent thousands of dollars trying to get rid of it, but so far nothing works. Since this works for me, I hope it works for you just as well. You can use other powder foundations, and if you try this, do let me know, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!